Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am the Sipping Tea, and today I'm going to tell you all about the Cold War Object 934 Premium Light Tank. Before I do, however, I just want to remind you, as previously mentioned in Tuesday's news video, that all of this week I have a prize giveaway, not only here but also on my Twitch channel as well. So basically, just as a quick recap, the prizes that I have to give away for Tuesday's video is 1 week of premium. For today's video, it's 15 lots of ×3 tank XP boosters. For Sunday's video, it will be another week of premium. And then for my Twitch stream, there will be one stream which I will announce on Twitch. If you follow me, you'll see that, and also on Twitter, if you follow me there, you'll see the notification as well that I will be going live, and within that live stream I will be giving away a T-3488 premium tank, which is a World War II Russian medium tier 6 tank. So it's important for you to be following me on Twitch at the very least, so that you know when I go live. Twitter will also assist you as well if you follow me on there, if you do use Twitter, so that you can not only see when I go live, but also I will be announcing the winners of the prize draws on Twitter, though it's not a requirement that you are on Twitter and following me there in order to win. It's just something that will allow you to see if you've won or not quite easily. Otherwise, if you're not using Twitch, if you're not using Twitter, that's fine. If you've won, you'll still get your prize anyway. It will just be a bit more of a surprise, just like the previous giveaway that I did when reaching 100 subscribers here on YouTube. So, in order to be eligible for the prize draw, as explained in Tuesday's video, all you need to do is, in the videos here on YouTube, just listen out for the question that I will ask, answer the question correctly, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and also with your correct answer down in the comments section, make sure that you include your gamer tag and the platform that you play on as well, so that if you do win, I am able to have the prizes sent to you nice and easily. So, without further delay, let's get into it. So to start things off here with the Object 934, let's take a look at the battle earn rates. So with this tank, you do get an extra 60% silver earn rate, 15% crew tank XP earn rate, and 10% crew XP earn rate. Now that does make this tank pretty good at filling up your silver reserves quite nicely. It is a tank that I have used for that very purpose quite a lot. This tank first came about around a year ago as a season pass tank, a level 100 season pass tank. So yeah, they've been in the game for around about a year at this point. So yeah, I would say that it's a decent silver earn rate, and personally I think all round a pretty decent tank. Now you'll find the Object 934 in Error 2, otherwise known as the Escalation Error. The gun statistics, the gun stats for this tank. So the standard shells will give you 354mm of penetration. The premium rounds will give you 390mm of pen, and finally the ATGM or missile will provide 480mm of pen. The damage for those respectively is 440 for both the standard and premium rounds, and 870 for the missile. The reload time on the missile is rather lengthy, around about 18 seconds. Your mileage may vary, of course, depending on what sort of crew skills, equipment and so on that you've got with your tank. The rate of fire, with the same sort of variation, is 7.59. with a reload time of 7.9 seconds, an aim time of 2.1 seconds, and an accuracy of 0.3. So really the Achilles heel of this tank is the missile and its reload time. I personally would say that's pretty appalling. You would easily be able to fire off a couple of shells equaling the damage that you would do with one missile, assuming of course you haven't come across a tank with your missile that has spaced armour, which of course Era 2 seems to have an abundance of these days. So my personal advice is to stick with the shells, as the missiles take too long to reload, and frankly you probably won't have much joy dealing the damage either. Moving on from there, the gun depression is 5 degrees and elevation is 15 degrees, so pretty standard for this kind of sort of Soviet tank. They never have particularly good gun depression, but can make it work reasonably well. The HP for the tank is 2300, the still concealment is 0.48, and the vision range is 545 meters. The top forward speed is 69.9 kilometers an hour, the top reverse speed is 20.9 kilometers an hour, and the fire chance of the engine is 15%. So yes, you will probably want to have some sort of either fire extinguisher or maybe the appropriate cruise skill to minimize the risk. That's always going to be my advice with tanks with, well, more than a 10% chance of fire risk, but as you will see earlier, I don't necessarily always practice what I preach. Sometimes you can gamble with that sort of thing, but of course you will be cursing the moment that you are set on fire and you have nothing equipped to deal with it. So, moving on from there, just to briefly address the well, I think the cruise skills. On this tank, I have run and gun, camouflage expertise, steady aim, sixth sense, muffled shot, rapid loading, and born leader. So you will notice the complete lack of anything to do with fire skills there for the most part anyway. So, to quickly interrupt myself, I am now going to ask the secret question for you to be able to enter the prize draw for this video. So the question is, what is the penetration value in millimeters of the premium rounds for the Object 934? Make sure that you answer the question correctly below in the comments section. Also make sure that you are subscribed in order to be eligible. You must be subscribed to the channel, and also include your gamer tag and the console type that you play on, be it Xbox or PlayStation. Best of luck with the prize draw. On with the video. So moving on now to the equipment. So you'll see here up on the screen, I have included a little graphic there showing you the equipment that I have on this tank. And what I have is the camo net, gun stabilizer, and advanced loader. I've certainly gone with the camo net, as I do feel like that really does complement this this tank. I am going more for a camouflage build where possible. You have seen that with the cruise skills as well. Basically, I just want to be able to be sort of a middle of the field kind of tank for the most part with this one. I know the footage in the background doesn't necessarily show that off, but otherwise this tank being sort of more of a sniping tank, as it doesn't really have the mobility to play your traditional sort of tank game, at least in my opinion. So moving on, we have here a live view of the overall armour of the Object 934. It is of course a light tank, so don't hold your breath, don't expect anything too radical here when it comes to the armour values. But here you can see that there's a bit of spaced armour on the back of the turret and also at the back of the engine there, with just 6mm. The underside of the back hull there at 10mm, along with sort of the mud flaps and the gun on as well. The very rear plate of the tank is 13mm. The upper engine deck there and the side skirts are 15mm. Then we've got 18mm on the top of the turret and the upper glacis of the front of the tank there. For the tracks and that sort of cow catcher at the front, along with the turret ring, and the top of that is 20mm. And then moving on from there, we have sort of the viewports at 25mm, the front of the turret at 30mm, the commander's hatch at 35mm, the front gun mantlet and that sort of sloped part of the armour at the front there at 40mm, 43mm is the sides of the tank and the sides of the rear of the turret, and finally we have 60mm for the lower plate at the front of the tank. All in all, you can see that it's not hugely well armoured, but then again, of course, it is a light tank, so it's not exactly going to be, well, a mouse, is it? You know, so yeah, all in all, pretty ordinary, pretty expected for a light tank. Moving on from there, the consumables. Now this, of course, in the footage for the eagle-eyed viewer will have noticed that the consumables have changed as the footage has been recorded at different times. So the current setup that I have for this tank is a premium repair kit, a standard med kit, and also premium smoke. Premium smoke because, of course, it does not only offer you a smoke screen as and when required, but also it has a passive effect to your camouflage. It makes you a little bit more stealthy. Otherwise, you would have seen that I did actually previously run a fire extinguisher, which sort of is in line with my original advice earlier on in this video, where the tank does have a rather high fire chance. But at this moment in time, I'm really leaning into the camouflage side of things with this tank, so I feel like the smoke was a more appropriate choice. Briefly, you can see on the screen here the still concealment of the tank. I've managed to get down to 143 meters, which I think is reasonably good for a light tank like this. So yeah, the concealment build seems to work reasonably well for me on this particular tank. In conclusion, I would say the Object 934 is pretty decent as far as light tanks go, so long as you don't expect it to run around the battlefield like a lunatic, spotting everything, dodging and weaving and all the rest of it. It's just simply not that tank. I dare say, you know, some people will have stories of how they've managed to do precisely that, but I think generally speaking the tank doesn't have the mobility and it's far too big to realistically be able to well, evade being shot whilst you're running around and dodging and weaving. It's no FV-107 or Armadillo, for instance. Not at all. So I personally think that this tank is best suited for the support role, as I've mentioned before, where it sort of sits at the mid-range of the battlefield sort of thing, and takes pot shots at the enemy. Again, I know that the footage in the background has shown otherwise, but well, when you're in platoon with other lunatics, it's sort of nothing really sticks to a plan. You sort of just run in screaming and hope for the best. At least that's how I do it anyway. So yeah, that's it for the review of this tank. A quick reminder regarding the competition: please make sure to leave the answer to the question down below in the comments section, including your gamer tag, what console you play on, and also make sure please that you are subscribed to the channel, because if you're not subscribed you won't be eligible for the prize draw. Down in the description you of course will find all of the usual links that I keep on bleating on about in all of my videos, so sign up to my Twitch account, as I will be giving away a tank in my next stream on there as well. It's an opportunity for you to win a tank there, so If you follow me now, you'll be able to see when I go live, and you'll be able to perhaps take part in that. Also on my Twitter, if you sign up to that, you'll be able to see A, when I go live on Twitch, and also B, when I actually upload a video on YouTube. I then shout it out on my Twitter account as well. You'll also find 2 different donation options if you are feeling generous. So that is for Coffee, which is basically a donation platform where the idea really is that you give a relatively small amount of money, the same sort of price as a coffee, hence the name, and that is basically a tip jar, if you will, where you can give a very modest amount of money to me just as a thank you or otherwise for making the videos, and it does help me, help support me making these videos as well. The other one is, of course, Patreon, and I'd just like to give a shout out, of course, to my patrons who have very kindly given away their their hard-earned money to me to help me make these videos. So a shout out to NB Hollywood and Nigar898. Thank you ever so much for all of your support on Patreon. It really, really is appreciated. That's it for this video. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.